So here's a thought. Can kindness actually be a weapon? It's a pretty wild question, right? In the crazy high-pressure world of big projects, we usually think strength means being loud, fast, and just forceful. But what if there's another way? A quieter, more thoughtful path to leadership that might be, well, even more powerful? Let's dive into that whole idea with a really incredible story. The story we're getting into today is all about this massive project, told through the eyes of someone who saw a coworker completely flip the script on what it takes to succeed. And this isn't just about a job, It's about the very nature of strength itself. Okay, first things first, let's just bust a myth right now. The idea of a system engineer or a programmer being just one type of person, that is a total illusion. The second you step into that world, you're hit with this incredible and honestly, sometimes overwhelming variety of personalities and ways of working. And this really gets to the heart of it. I mean, forget about job titles. Your real position, your real influence on a team isn't about what's printed on your business card. It's all about what you do, your actions, day in and day out. All right, section 1, the setup. So let's paint a picture of what this project was actually like. I want you to imagine a place that's just constantly changing, an environment where the ground is literally shifting under your feet every single day. We're talking about a project with over 200 people working on it at its peak. Just think about that scale for a second. The complexity, the communication hurdles, the sheer pressure, it's immense. The organization itself was just fluid, almost like a living, breathing thing. And right into the middle of all this chaos, a new team member shows up. He was given this absolutely critical role of configuration management. Basically, he was the person responsible for keeping track of every single moving part. No small task. And this, right here, is where our story really kicks off. This wasn't your typical hard-charging project warrior. Nope, he was something else entirely. In this crazy high-stress world, this guy was basically an island of calm. You'd almost wonder if he was even capable of getting angry. He would listen, really listen, to every single person. He always spoke slowly, deliberately, and even when people came at him with totally unreasonable demands, which, let's be real, happened all the time, he met them with this unwavering sincerity. But, this super calm, careful way of doing things, well, it came at a price. His dedication, his thoroughness, meant he was pretty much always the last person left in the office, literally catching the final train home. His method was rock solid, but it definitely wasn't fast. And this is where things get really interesting. This created a real conflict for our narrator, a kind of internal battle between what he admired in this guy and what he thought was actually needed to survive on the project. So you've got these two completely opposite worlds colliding. On one side, you have the forceful and fast approach. This is the idea that you've just got to push and push hard to get things done on time. And on the other side, you have the calm and careful ideal, supporting people with genuine care, but at a much slower pace. And this is the narrator's big problem, right? As much as he respected his colleagues' kindness, a part of him saw it as a potential risk. In a project where every single second counted, was this super careful approach actually holding the whole team back? It's this question that just keeps bugging him as they're working side by side late into the night. On the one hand, he was so grateful for the help, for not having to shoulder that whole burden alone. But that doubt, it just wouldn't go away. This whole conflict between what you believe in and what seems to work in reality, I think that's something a lot of us can relate to. If this story is hitting home for you, do us a favor and hit that like button. It really helps us know what kind of stories you want to see. Click thumbs up. But then, working in that pressure cooker, something started to shift in his perspective. And that brings us to the big turning point in this story, the epiphany. So, yeah, who was right? The guy who was all about speed and force? Or the guy who was all about calm and care? What do you think? And the big realization was, there is no single answer. The question itself was the problem. The project didn't need one or the other. It turns out it needed both. From a business standpoint, there's actually a term for this, organizational capability. It's this powerful idea that real strength doesn't come from forcing everyone to be the same. It comes from the creative friction, that collision of different styles and viewpoints. That diversity isn't a problem you need to solve. It's the actual engine that drives the whole thing forward.
So what's the big takeaway for you and me? That brings us to our final section, embracing contradiction. I mean, think about how powerful this is. That feeling of being rattled, of being challenged by someone who is fundamentally different from you, that's not a sign of weakness. That's the very thing that helps forge who you are. It's a really powerful idea, isn't it? If this explainer gave you a fresh way to think about things, we'd love it if you'd hit that like button.
So in the end, our narrator didn't pick a side. His conclusion was to hold on to both. He realized, I want to be kind and sincere like him, but at the same time, I also need my own strength to push things forward when they need to move. The goal isn't to get rid of that contradiction, but to carry it with you and let it make you better.
So here's a little challenge for you. After this is over, just take a minute and really think about it. What's your style? What are your core strengths? Can you actually put them into words? Because understanding yourself is always the first step to figuring out how you fit into the bigger picture. And I'll leave you with this one last question to chew on. We all have contradictions inside of us. Maybe you're super analytical, but also really creative. A leader, but also a servant. A detailed planner, but also great at improvising. So think about it for yourself. What's the contradiction you're carrying? And how are you going to use it to be even stronger tomorrow?